March 31, Deputy Premier Andrew Stoner notched up 10 years as the leader of the Nationals. That makes him the second longest serving leader of any political party in the country at the moment, surpassed only by his Victorian counterpart Peter Ryan. In New South Wales, only former Premiers Bob Carr, Neville Wran and Robert Askin have led a political party for longer. I recently spoke with Mr Stoner, who reflected on the last 10 years as leader.
Look, I think the important thing is to actually lead your MPs and by dint the people that they represent. So to be policy driven rather than politics driven is really important. If you can show not only your own MPs but the broader community that you've got a vision, that you're on path to achieving that vision, people will back you. I have to say I'm probably a bit more fortunate being leader of the National Party, which generally doesn't have factionalism and also has a pretty good history in terms of loyalty and supporting its leaders. That gives me the luxury, I suppose, to not be preoccupied with my own position and my own power, but to think about the job that we've really been elected to do. And when you do that, you make your own luck. So I think my most significant thing in terms of leading the Nationals has been to rebuild it, to make it a more inclusive party, a party that represents all people in regional New South Wales. That's translated into electoral support, which has tended to unify the regional vote in New South Wales. And as a result, country people now have a very significant voice in the Parliament and in government. And we're starting to see the fruits of that. By having regional New South Wales front and centre in government, we are delivering.
Mr Stoner was elected as the member for Oxley in 1999 and took the leadership from George Souris in 2003. He often spends weeks at a time away from family.
Look, it is difficult. I have to stay in touch with my family by telephone, sometimes Skype, a couple of times a day. I have to put as much time when I'm back home in the electorate as I possibly can with my family. But you know, you only have one family and you only have one time with them, and it's a difficult thing to do.
Mr Stoner said he would weigh up his political future in the next 2 years.
Well, I think everybody has a limit, and for me it's when the passion dies, you know, when the fire in the belly goes out, then it's time to hand over the reins and give it to somebody who's, you know, passionate and wants to achieve for people, for community. I have to say that politics in government is always very difficult for a Nationals leader. You know, not only are you Deputy Premier, you take on a senior ministerial role, you've also got a country electorate and a family, generally speaking, back at home in that electorate. You're away from home a lot.
In addition to leading the Nationals and being Deputy Premier, as well as devoting time to his family and electorate, Mr Stoner also holds 4 portfolios within the government. That workload has forced him to give up many of his hobbies, but there is still one which he has refused to give away.
I generally go for a surf quite early in the morning, so it's a bit of solitude, the stillness, it's the nature of the place. There's physical activity involved, but when you're out there, it clears your head. A lot of your stresses go. Occasionally you have a brilliant thought because you're just completely away from the normal grind of your day, and your mind just roams and solves problems and stuff. So it's one of the few things that I have that helps me to deal with everything on my plate. I even find time occasionally to get over to my mate Mike Baird's house at Manly, which involves a very early start on a sitting day or another day that I'm here in Sydney. I've got a spare board lives over at his place, and we have what we jokingly refer to as a board meeting, which we go and have a surf together and then generally breakfast or a coffee afterwards, which is great.